Hello everyone, my name is Jamilati Izzati binti Juso and my friend.
My name is Shazrina binti Salhan.
So we are going to present a topic in chapter 7, strategy implementation, which is related to management, human resource and operational issues. So in this chapter 7, we are going to explain how to implement strategies in terms of effectively managing organizational structure, resistance to change, organizational culture, corporate wellness, employee and executive conversations, human resource issues, and restructuring. So Shazrina will start the presentation to explain the topic.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Shazrina binti Salhan and I'm going to present you the first slide of chapter 7. So as you can see here, this is the comprehensive strategic management model and it's defined as the basic strategic tool. So this model aids in the formulation of a company vision, purpose, and also objective. So it extensively analyzes the external and internal environment in order to improve the strategic plan implementation. As for the second slide, you can see here there are couples of management issues central to strategic implementation. These include annual objective, develop a strategy supportive culture, restructure and re-engineer, minimize resistance to change, devise policy, link performance and pay to strategies, downsize and further as needed, develop an effective human resource function, and match manager with strategy, allocate resources, revise reward and incentive plans, alter an existing organizational structure, and also adapt productions and operation process. Okay, so now we're going to get know more about the previous mentioned issues. So the first one is annual objective. Technically, annual objective represent the basis for allocating resources and it also as a primary mechanism for evaluating managers. Next, it's a major instrument for monitoring progress toward achieving long-term objectives as well as establish organizational, divisional, and departmental priorities. Okay, next for the device policy. So what is device policy? It's actually a specific guidelines, methods, procedures, rules, forms, or any administrative practice established to support and encourage work towards stated goals. So it's also known as an instrument for strategy implementation and it set boundaries, constraint and limits on the kinds of administrative action that can be taken to reward and sanction behavior. Besides, it also clarifies what can and can't be done in pursuit of an organization's objective. As for allocate resources, it is actually a central management activities that allows for strategy execution and it is often based on political and personal factors. So it enables resources to be allocated according to priorities established by annual objective. So there are 4 types of allocation. The first one is financial, human, physical, as well as technological. Now we're going through about the managing conflicts. There are 4 types of conflicts. The first one is of course the conflict itself, diffusions, avoidance, and as well as confrontations. So what is conflicts? Conflicts is basically a disagreement between 2 or more parties on one or more issues. Next one is diffusions. Diffusions playing down differences between conflicting parties while accentuating similarities and common interests. The next one is avoidance. Avoidance is basically known as action as ignoring the problem in hopes that the conflicts will resolve itself or physically supporting the conflicting individual. And last one is confrontation. So it's basically exemplified by exchanging members of conflict parties so that each of them can gain an appreciation of others' point of view. Next issues is matching structure with the strategy. So it dictates how objective and policies will be established as well as how the resources will be located. So there are a couple of symptoms to show that how ineffective organizational structure. The first one is too many level of management as well as too many unachieved goals and objectives. Next one is poor corporate and company performance as well as compared to competitors. Sales or earnings split by the number of workers or managers is low.
So to continue the presentation, I will explain to you types of organizational structures. To ensure operations are running smoothly, many businesses follow an organizational structure that best supports their size and business goals. So for the first, I will go to functional structure. The most typical forms of organizational structures. It organizes employees according on their function or role within the organization. For example, the sales team may work in one department, the IT team in another, the financial team in a third. This encourages employees to concentrate in one area, but it can also lead to silos that make cross-functional collaboration difficult. The second type is divisional structure. Employees are grouped together by product lines, geographic region, market, or some other natural division. This type of organizational structure typically works best for large companies that have many products and sales channels. And the third, strategy business unit structure. Similar divisions are grouped into strategy business units, while authority and responsibility for each unit is delegated to a senior executive who reports directly to the CEO. Might well help with strategy execution by enhancing coordination among comparable divisions and assigning responsibilities to various business units. Next, we have matrix structure. This is the most complicated of all patterns and it is closer to the organic end of the range. It does not use a hierarchical model, instead establishing dual reporting relationships for each employee. This means that for function-based communication, each employee reports to one person and a separate person for product-based communication. So the last one is the flat structure. This is the most organic of the reporting models on this list. The flat reporting structure works for organizations that have zero distinct authoritative positions. The vision behind a flat structure is one of a transparency and productivity. In strategic management, restructuring and re-engineering are becoming commonplace on the corporate landscape across the United States and Europe. Restructuring involves reducing the size of the firm in terms of number of employees, number of divisions or units, and number of hierarchical levels in the firm's organizational structure. It also called downsizing, right-sizing, or layering. This reduction in size is intended to improve both efficiency and effectiveness. Re-engineering is concerned more with employee and customer well-being than shareholder well-being. Re-engineering involves reconfiguring and redesigning work, jobs, and processes for the purpose of improving cost, quality, service, and speed. Re-engineering, also known as process management, process innovation, or process redesign. You'd be hard-pressed to find a leader who doesn't believe that pay and performance should be linked. Positive affirmations like a simple thank you are smart incentives as well. Here are 5 reasons to embrace the pay for performance trend. First, provide full transparency to all stakeholders. Second, reward long-term performance with long-term pay rather than annual incentives. Third, base executive compensation on actual company performance rather than on stock price. 4. Extend the time horizon for bonuses and replace short-term with long-term incentives. The last one but not least, increase equity between workers and executives. Besides, cease those unnecessary special perks and benefits for executives. Even so, many HR teams and compensation managers are reluctant to embrace the pay for performance, either assuming it doesn't work or it will be too cumbersome to effectively manage work. Although change management decisions are normally made at the C-level, it is still very important to have the rest of the employees bought into the change. Having employees who are opposed to what is going to be changing from the start is a major setback and one that needs to be dealt with carefully in order to be successful with the change management. Here are a few ways to manage these employees. First change strategy involves giving orders and enforcing those orders. Next is educative change strategy, which present affirmations to convince people of the need for change. The last one, self-interest change strategy, attempts to convince individuals that the change is to their personal advantage. The next subtopic is develop a strategy which is supportive culture. Developing organizational culture is an important part of strategic management. No strategy succeeds without a strategy supporting organizational culture. Strategy supportive cultures engage and empower people by creating effective commitment and organizational citizenship behaviors. People work towards established and collectively agreed upon goals when they are intrinsically motivated to do so. They cannot be forced to do so in a way that would create quality performance. It has been well established that executives that use expert and referral power over positional and coercive power are more effective in long term. Organizations that have strategy supportive cultures are led by visionary leaders. They have flat and organizational structures, and they value and trust their employees. For organizations seeking to become more adaptive and innovative, culture change is the most challenging to be part of the transformation. Altering an organization's culture is a large-scale undertaking, and eventually, all of the organization's tools for changing minds will need to be put in play. This will involve recruitment, training, transfer, promotion, restructuring, re-engineering, role modeling, positive reinforcement, mentoring, revising mission or visions, redesigning physical spaces and facades, altering reward system as well as altering procedures. The last one, policies and practices of the organization. However, the order in which they develop has a critical impact on the likelihood of success. Next, I'm going to explain about adapt production and operation process. Strategy in action means implementation requires complete transparent process. Production or operations department that mainly concerned with the achievement of organization goals and targets. Basically, this involves a process of converting labor, materials into the particular combination of qualities that a selected group of customers wants. The major decisions in production or operation strategy are concern the technical core, quality, facilities, technology, and production planning, and all of these factors plays an important impact on the success and failure of the strategy. So we end our presentation here. I, Izati, and my friend Shazrina would like to say thank you to all of you. If you have any questions or queries, kindly comment from our post in the near future, and we will spend our time to reply and answer all of your questions.